Welcome everyone back to the Frankfurt Famous channel, where we're going to be talking about some pros and cons on the Chelsea versus Crystal Palace game, and why the second half did we look so poor compared to the first half. Without further ado, let's get it. So right out the gates, we can see that the intensity was high. Chelsea was pressing upfield, causing some problems for Crystal Palace, but it does look like Crystal Palace was also pushing up, which I thought they would play more defensive at the beginning. We didn't see that so continuously, but by them pressing, it gave opportunity for Kurt Zouma to send long balls into Giroud to draw in our midfielders. 5 minutes into the game, we see a beautiful pass on the right-hand side by Reece James, which Willian was running onto the ball to sadly see one of our own, Gary Cahill, looks like he tore his hamstring, completely just collapsed, which gave Willian the opportunity to take the ball into the box and find Giroud for an easy tap-in. This was a great way for us to start off the game. As we know, we've had some very slow starts, and this was a good opportunity for us to set the tempo. It's sad to see this happen to a former player of us, but it's the game we play, so we have to continue moving forward. So sadly, Cahill had to be subbed, which brought in Mamadou Sakho, which we know that he has a mistake in him. So seeing him come on the field, we really understand that they're aging back line, that we have to get at him. In the 9th minute, Kurt Zouma with the fierce header off target. Come on, you got to put that in the back of the net. Those are the opportunities that we're not going to be getting frequently. So when we get those chances, our defenders have to finish. We do the best we can to stop the ball at the back, but we also have to provide goals coming from all angles. So it was good to see him getting forward, but we need him to be more clinical when it comes to putting the ball in the back of the net. So we can continuously see that the pressure is on. Crystal Palace is starting to push up higher in the middle. In the 27th minute, they lose the ball higher up the field. Midfielders are out of play. This gives Mason Mount an opportunity to drive through the midfield, find Willian on the wing, make that overlapping run. As Willian is driving towards the middle of the field, he's drawing defenders with him. Also, you can see Giroud is trying to open up space. What we noticed, a smart play by Christian Pulisic, is he stayed out wide because he wanted to isolate his defender, but he knew with his speed of play, he would be able to get past him if he was able to take him on one-on-one. So we saw Willian with a beautiful pass over to Christian Pulisic, and what he did, so decisive, was go at his player cut off his right side, and we know Christian Pulisic can score with his left foot just as good as he can with his right. So he took the ball to his left foot, striked it into the corner. A beautiful goal. Just to see how direct Christian Pulisic is. He doesn't need too many touches in the box. His biggest thing is how can he open up so that he can take a shot at goal. I love that his mindset is always, how can I get at the defender? He never shies away from that. And which we need to see more and more with our players as we get into the attacking play and into the 18, is going at their defenders and finding space for them to take that shot. We need to make sure that the defense doesn't have time to set up. If we're open up space on the wing, it's going to allow us to continuously have those options to where we can take on our player one-on-one. We have the players who have the ability to do it. So it was a beautiful goal by Christian Pulisic, also a beautiful assist by Willian. So we can see that Chelsea has continued that intensity and that pressure on Crystal Palace's back line. Crystal Palace tends to be very compact, but we had their midfielders scrambling. You can see a huge gap in between their midfield and their defenders. It's like they didn't want to be next to each other, some type of disagreement. I don't know why their play was so unorganized, but this gave us an opportunity to really get at them, as Pulisic tried to give a beautiful ball to Willian, who tried to do a first touch into the back of the net, but was blocked by the goalie, which was also an amazing play as we continue being quick with our play and taking it on the first chance we get the opportunity. The 33rd minute, we see that Reece James gave the ball away, which allowed Crystal Palace to get into our defense. And then you see a screamer by Wilfried Zaha. I mean, come on. Why is he scoring from that distance? You can blame Kepa for not being there and blocking that shot. But if you go back to the game and you take a look at it, Wilfried Zaha was literally wide open in the defense. And you have Azpilicueta and Kurt Zouma guarding no one. So, from my understanding is, yes, we have midfielders who look like they were pushed out into a higher position due to that bad pass by Reece James. But why is it that we know Wilfried Zaha is their best player? Explain to me why we would be letting him roam in the midfield with not anyone touching him. That's where the first issue started from. Yeah, you don't think, yeah, he's going to take this shot from this distance, he's going to beat us. But like I said in my last channel, Wilfried Zaha is able to pull things out of nowhere, unexpectedly. I mean, he's a class talent. And the fact that we are so much pushing forward and forgetting about our defensive duties, this is where we saw the issue. And Billy Gilmore at the same time was nowhere to be found in the midfield. So this goal, yes, could have seemed as a fluke, but those are the goals that we should not be getting scored on by. It was ridiculous. That's where the structure needs to come to. That's where that mentality needs to be at. You find the best player on the team and you put a body on him. And that goal, what it did was give him that confidence to now get at us. So we see that Crystal Palace is pushing up and causing pressure on our defense. We're seeing some sloppy passes come from the back. We're not being clean cut. We're not finding our man as quick as possible. We're taking up time. We have to find a way to get some more control of the game. So by booting the ball up and giving Giroud the opportunity to work with his hold-up play, that was alleviating some pressure. In the 53rd minute, Reece James sent in a beautiful ball past him by Willian. I mean, he is just getting better and better with more confidence. And it's amazing just to see, for someone so young, to have that much quality in his feet. Just imagine a couple more years where he'll be at. Straight to Giroud. Oh my God, like, come on now. When Giroud's getting balls like that, I mean, it's supposed to be guaranteed goals. These are the balls that he dreams about in his sleep. And he couldn't get it down quick enough. And you can see the anger that he felt that it wasn't clinical with his header. But this is a good sight, as we know that our players are getting into the box. They're being found by the right backs and also by our wingers. As the game pushed into the later stages of the second half, we can see that a lot of our players had weary legs as they've been playing continuously more days than usual. So by bringing in Tammy Abraham and Ruben Loftus-Cheek, which was the exit of Giroud and Ross Barkley, in the later time of the 70th minute, we see what Ruben Loftus-Cheek can offer us in the middle of the park, because he's able to pick up the ball and drive at the defenders with speed, also with quality. So as he's given space, which is a mistake by the defense, we see Tammy Abraham starting to move out to the wing. We see that the Crystal Palace defenders, two of them are eyeing the ball and not watching Tammy Abraham's movement. As soon as both players try to close in on Loftus-Cheek, Tammy Abraham stops, so he's in direct line with the defender. Loftus-Cheek has a quality ball that he tipped over both players, straight into Tammy Abraham's pass, and with one touch, right into the bottom back corner of the net, which is beautiful to be seeing coming from these players. I mean, they have just come on the field, and you can see that they have that connection. I mean, they play together in the youth team, which is something we need to take advantage of, is that when they're not playing and they do come in, you can see that they still have that quality of play. We see that goal, which brings us to a 3-1 lead over Crystal Palace. Nothing more we should be expecting. This should be an easy victory from here. Like I was saying, it should be a smooth victory win from here. Was I wrong? We forget that Crystal Palace has gained confidence. Even though we're up 2 goals, they don't stop the pressure. The fact that our midfield looks like it's getting overrun, and then we see a ball played to Van Aalt, Andres Christensen. Get in there. Put your foot down. You know, we're supposed to be stopping these runs coming into the box. It's like he stuck his foot and then moved it. And from that opportunity, Van Aalt was able to get into the box. Of course, Kurt Zouma had to go towards the player to stop the cross, but that left Benteke right open in the goal for an easy tap-in. That's when we start falling apart. We're seeing these easy goals scored by the opposition because our defense and our midfield all of a sudden are on 2 different wavelengths. Andres Christensen first started off that play with a header, misjudging it. Come on, man. This is the type of play that we're seeing that looks like there's some immaturity in there when we should be already at this point where we have some structure, and we should see that quality in the back, and we're getting these opportunities to where we're making ourselves look fragile, and they're taking advantage of us. And it's sickening to my stomach to see this because I know the quality we have, but it just seems like sometimes we fall asleep. Understand when we're up that the intensity cannot drop on the offense or the defensive end. The game isn't over till the ref blows a whistle. So the last 20 minutes of the game, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. We're losing composure. We're losing control. Crystal Palace now thinks they can get at us. Wilfried Zaha was quiet. Now we just woke up the sleeping giant. And when he's in his groove and he's playing with the ball, he is capable of finding players, and he's capable of distracting his opponent, giving him the opportunity to be at his best. And we saw that happen with weary legs in the back as he goes towards Mason Mount, gives him a couple different shimmies, sends the ball into the box, and luckily a header hits the post and is kicked out by Ruben Loftus-Cheek. It's happening again. I'm having deja vu of us now trying to leave with 3 points and only getting 1 point from a game we should be dominating. Billy Gilmore's legs are beginning to get weary, so we bring in Jorginho, who we know is capable of slowing down play and controlling the ball, so then we can leave this game with 3 points that we deserve. Then we see towards the end of the game that another mistake by the defense, as Christensen, instead of following Benteke's run, he sees a winger pulling out and he follows him, which lets the ball flow straight into Benteke's feet. And luckily, by a last second dive by Kurt Zouma, he saved us the 3 points. So I want to talk about what we're not seeing when we're playing against teams at the bottom of the table. We're giving them the opportunity to have confidence. And that is very worrying because we are a team that's full of quality and we are able to control play and see out games. But it's these little mistakes that we make that cause us the heartache. Our defense and our midfielders, for some reason, they're not consistently connecting and communicating with each other. We're seeing a lot of players going at one player as we're taking 2 people to guard one person. That's a mistake because that's always going to leave someone else open. And the fact that we're not seeing this and we're not communicating this is giving them opportunities to finally find gaps in our defense and get opportunity to, if they're decisive enough, get goals. We can't just blame all this on Kepa. Yes, Kepa is going through a trial right now as his stats aren't great for where he is at a professional level and for the amount of money was spent on him. But there's only so much he can do when the defense is making these mistakes, and it starts from up top, the middle, before it gets to the back. And we see that, yeah, we have these weary legs. We're seeing these players that they're playing a lot of consistent games, and this is going to be expected. But the fact is, if you're going to play in a game where you're up, or if you're playing for Chelsea in general, the intensity level has to be there. We can't be letting these sloppy mistakes happen, because other teams in the table are going to watch this and they're going to pick out which ways they're going to be able to exploit us. And I hate saying this, and I feel like I'm a broken record that's continuously say the same thing about when are we finally going to connect. When is there going to be a leader who's going to make sure that the back line and the midfield are staying compact? And when we're up, finishing these games without being scored on or without so much pressure coming in on us. As we know, it's not going to get easier from here. Everyone's trying to stay in the Premier League, and we have those fighting for top 4. So we can't have Manchester United and Wolves over there winning games, and we're only making it by the skin of our teeth. So everyone, tell me what you think. Do you see some great things happening with us and our offensive play? And what are the things that we can work on our defensive play? And is there a new system we need to incorporate towards the end of games? Or are we not putting the right people in positions to close out these games? Please leave a comment down low. All right, so thank you everyone for viewing my show. I hope you enjoyed the topics we discussed today. Please don't forget to like. Also, don't forget to subscribe. And I look forward to speaking with you soon. Come on, Blues!